What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world, Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am the host, your host, the truth, the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight, we got a special one for you guys. We got a power slap athlete in the house. We got the one, the only Cody Cox coming up. And I'm really excited to have a conversation with Mr. Cox. But before we get into it, I need to take a quick second, a quick pause for that cause, baby, to talk about our amazing sponsor, healthvape.com. Now, healthvape.com is your healthy vaping alternative. All of their products, no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals. They're vitamin infused. These things help restore your energy while giving you the vital boost you need to get through your day. So get off those filthy cigarettes, get off those big cloud chucking vapes, and get on Health Vape today. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Hey, and you know what? Wherever you're finding us, make sure you click that like button, you click that share button, you click that subscribe, that follow, whatever it is on YouTube. Please make sure you tap that little red button. If you're listening on podcast platforms, give us that 5-star review. It helps with our analytics and it helps us bring more amazing conversations to more amazing fucking people like yourselves. So get to clicking and get to tapping in. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get in to my conversation with the one, the only Cody Cox, baby. What's going on? Welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world. And I'm here live with one of my favorite people in the entire world. And I know that I say that about every guest I have, but this time I actually mean it. The one and only Cody Cox. Welcome to Shooting the Shit Uncensored.
Your intro video is hype as fuck.
Thanks, man. Hey, man, I have to get something to bring the energy from people. You know what I mean? So, what way to do that, man? I got some great producers that do some great work.
I was watching the start and you said the Bame thing, and I was like, oh, this is Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to steal that from Chris Jericho. So
I love it.
Yeah, man. But dude, you a wrestling fan?
I'm a giant wrestling fan. See if I can pull it up on my phone real quick, and hopefully the glare doesn't get it. But I got Taker and Kane.
Oh yeah. You met him?
Yeah, I met Taker and Kane. I met Mick Foley. I met Bray Wyatt.
Oh wow.
I actually got to hang out with Bray Wyatt up in Evansville, Indiana. Me and my brother went up there for a show, and he was coming out of the exit, and we got to hang out with him for a couple hours. So that was super cool.
Oh really? So not like just a passing 5-minute thing. Like he stopped and hung out with you guys?
Yeah, it was him and the Usos and the Miz.
No way. And they're all pretty cool dudes, yeah?
Yeah, super cool dudes.
Yeah. Have any of them seen you on Power Slap and reached out and gone, hey, I know that guy?
I don't believe so. Not yet, but hopefully.
Yeah. I remember that time, man. We hung out for a few hours.
Yeah.
You know? So, but man, getting straight into it, man, like the Power Slap thing, I when I first started seeing clips about this, I was like, man, I was so intrigued. And when I'm intrigued about something, but I don't have any knowledge about it, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk to people who are involved in it. And I spoke to John Davis, And I didn't know what to expect from someone who was an athlete like that. And John is an absolute gentleman. And I say that, and I was like, dude, like I seen, like I started to enjoy Power Slap for what it is, and like I said, I've had a couple of athletes on from Power Slap, amazing human beings. But what's your story, man? How did you get like involved in this crazy world?
So I work at a correctional facility in a maximum security prison,
Yeah,
and I've already done MMA before. I wrestled through school, and so we seen the Power Slap TV series come out where they were all in the house and everything. And my buddies
yeah,
were like, my buddies at the prison I work with were just like, you should sign up for that. So I did. I sent in my credentials and everything, and I got a text back saying like, "Hey, are you interested in doing this?" And I thought it was my buddies kind of just pranking me.
yeah,
And so I was like, "All right, I'll play into it." So I start playing into it, and then I start getting emails from like the matchmakers and everything, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is real!" And I was like, "I'm gonna do this," and it's crazy because at first I'll admit I thought it was super gimmicky
yeah.
until I went there. And once you go there and like you actually start learning, like there's a huge method to the madness on like how to hit the slaps, how to like brace for it. The actual skill that goes into that, I did not realize was a thing until I did it.
Mm. Because you think, yeah, just hold back and crack someone in the side of the face, but like I think for the most part now, you know, and I think I said this when I had on a couple of the other guys, is like we live in such a society that needs fast paced moving content and those 1 minute 30-second clips. And this is like one of those things where it's like, the matches are so quick and the knockouts can be so frequent where it's like you can have like this sensational looking moment in such a short period of time, which is quick and digestible for people. But you know what I mean? Like I tend to always think that it comes down to, it's going to come down to individuals like tolerance for violence really on what they can take as far as like the fandom for it. I mean, you can look at boxing fans who probably look at MMA as being barbaric, and then you look at MMA fans who look at BKFC as just being too much. You know what I mean? Like I think, but you know what I mean. But there are fans for BKFC. There are fans for Power Slap. But I think it just comes down to not every fan of combat sports is going to be a fan of every single combat sport.
Yeah, and I can see that. But like whenever people say like it's too brutal and things like that, I always like, and a lot of America's like that where they're like this sport's too brutal, people are gonna get brain damage, and I'm thinking like
Yeah.
the biggest sport in America is baseball and football. But
Mm.
like the football aspect of it is you've got like 200 to 300 pound men car crashing into each other. And like
Mm.
that's I feel like that's way more dangerous than what power slap is. And I think it's also safer because I feel like a smack is way better than taking a kick to the head.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely worse alternatives, but everybody makes their own choices. I mean, we signed to do that, so all the risks involved is on us. I mean, we're all free. That's kind of it's the give and take that I think. I don't know.
Does like longevity and your long-term health, does this give a concern for you for that, like, by doing this?
Um, so I'm a different breed. Um, I am here on this earth once, so whatever condition my body's in when it's my time to go, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
but while I'm young, I'm gonna do crazy things. I'm gonna do dangerous things. I'm gonna do just things that are fun for me. Because I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and at the end of your life, you want to do things that are interesting and not just live the boring, casual thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you like the first time you actually did get cracked? You know what I mean? Like, what was the first initial reaction? Was like, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of a thing, bro. Like, as a man getting slapped by another dude, bro, like that's kind of fucking like, and especially like around that many people, bro, watching it as well. Like, Yeah, I mean, because I think like someone slapping me, bro, like my instant reaction is like, man, let's fucking go. Like,
So whenever you get slapped like normally, I could say like, yeah, as a man that would it's different when you're doing power slap because like I said, the skill in it, those
yeah.
slaps do not feel like slaps.
Mm,
That feels like somebody's taking a brick and smashing you in the head with it.
mm.
Um, and I mean, so getting hit, my first fight I ever did, they called me for two flinching. So I actually ended up getting hit 5 times that fight.
Oh,
So I took 5 of them. And I'm going to use this time to flex that now. So Austin Turpin, who is on fire right now, and he's a buddy of mine now, but he's knocked out ever since me. He's knocked out all 3 of his opponents. I
wow.
took 5 slaps from him and didn't go to sleep. So like that's my biggest flex right now.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Five, like getting cracked 5 times, bro. Like, man, that is like some stoic shit.
The the first one sucks. The rest are gravy.
Really?
Yep.
I would have thought the last one would have been the one that really fucking would have sucked.
No, it was the first one. Uh, not well, technically not the first one because the first one he got me in the neck.
Mm,
Um, but they called that a flinch, and he got to go again. So the second slap, whenever he hit me clean, you watch that and you see me stumble back but step forward again. Like that one sucked. The rest of them was cake. Ate them all night. Was flipping them the bird. We were both talking shit to each other. It was a good night. It was great.
yeah. So, like, if a match goes the distance, how is a match judged? Like, is it judged on technique, how someone takes a shot, how someone delivers a shot? Like how is it judged?
I would imagine that it's. I mean, obviously, how the strike looks like it's got to be clean.
Yeah.
But if both people are swinging and they both hit clean, I would say that they base it off the other guy's reaction. But I mean, like Turpin and I, we both weren't reacting. So it was like I reacted the one time with the stumble back, but we both
Yeah.
didn't react after that. He got a little wobbly whenever I hit him on one, but
Mm.
I couldn't judge that because a lot of them are super close. And I really don't know what they look for in that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I like that. That's one of the things like I've wondered is like how do they judge if it like there's a match that goes the distance where someone doesn't get knocked out. Um, yeah, but man, I tell you what, like it's a crazy sort of it's a crazy sport, man. Yeah, but it's like like I think it because it's like going to be like MMA. It's going to be like over the next, if this is going to be something, which I hope it's going to be something that's going to be long term that we're going to see, because I think in 10 years it's going to be like huge.
I think people are going to come for me for this, but I think it eclipses MMA, boxing, football.
Mm,
I think it eclipses all that because, like you were talking about earlier, it's something that anybody could just jump in and watch, and it's so quick and there's so much action that it's
mm,
like it hooks people in, and it's not like you're never going to see a power slap fight where it's 2 grapplers just grappling the whole time.
yeah,
It's you're going to tune in, people are going to get cracked the whole time, people are going to get knocked out, and it's nonstop action the whole time.
it's it's like I try and think like how this sport, could like be something so global. Like, because right now, like I've seen so much, like, but even slap fighting now, because I think power slap, and I thought power slap was like the start of this. And then, like, I've gone on this like deep rabbit hole of like finding all these different power slap promotions and how like this has been going on for years and stuff like that. And do you feel like the like is like how power slap I've seen it, they've pretty much regulated this thing, right? Like they've put it down into weight classes and everything along those lines.
Yeah, they've been doing weight classes, and they got it all sanctioned through like Nevada, and
Yeah.
now other states are actually like making it legal and sanctioning it. So it's going to be just as much of a sport as anything else is.
Mm,
but like I said, I fully believe it's going to get bigger than everything. I mean, it's so watchable. Even like professional wrestling, Mick Foley. People tuned into Mick Foley matches to watch him get thrown off cells and
Yep.
get beaten with barbed wire. I mean, people tune into action like that, and
Mm,
that's it. We're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere.
yeah. Do you feel like one of the misconceptions would be like certain fans would look at it and go, "Ah, yeah, I could do that." Like, have you been challenged by like people out there, like by fans that go, "Oh yeah, man, like what you do, I can get in there and do that. I reckon I can knock you out." Like, have you experienced that type of like negativity and negative attention from certain fans?
So I have, but I mean that goes with with doing the MMA too. I had it back then as well, and it's just basically like I don't know if it's people's testosterone levels or just their ignorance when it comes to that. Like you go to a bar, you go to an event, and people see you and recognize who you are, and they some people try to pick fights with you and things, uh, but a lot of people just think they can. Oh man, I see red, I can do that, and it's just not the case.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like, I feel like when you're in that situation as well, like, a lot of times people just would bait people into that. And it's like, oh, yeah, I had that thing with that power slap guy. Cause you know what I mean? Or I had that fight, that MMA guy. I showed him I didn't back down. But in reality, most, fighters I know would have like someone come up to him like that and they'd just be like, whatever, cunt. Like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, cool, man. See, you know what I mean? Because like, why the fuck? Because number one, if they're professional fighters, they're going to look at it and go, why am I going to fight a guy in a bar? I'm not getting paid to do it. Or they're just going to sit there and go, like, I'm going to do some serious damage to this guy. He's no threat to me. He's just mouthing off. Yeah, okay, cool. Like,
So I kind of got in the mindset of the first one. Like people try to pick fights with me, and mentally I'm just like I'm not gonna get paid for this. Like I
yeah.
get paid to fight now. I'm not gonna do it for free.
Mm,
Like what's the point in that? And I mean any any press is good press, good bad. It doesn't matter. So
yeah.
as long as people are like that guy's so and they're putting your name out there, you're good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And I think that that's the best way to look at it as far as marketing goes. But for yourself, like, what has been like? Have you since you've been on Power Slap, this big platform, has it been life changing for you?
So it's been life changing because I mean I'm getting like fans from Brazil like DMing me, and I'm getting people who notice me now. I did a TikTok video with my son the other day because he's a professional wrestling fan as well,
Oh,
and
cool.
it was the 4th of July is what it was, um, and we used sparklers and showers to. He did Cody Rhodes' entrance,
Ah,
and
that's cute.
Cody Rhodes retweeted us. So
Oh, no
like,
way.
yeah, so we got some notoriety from that, and people are trying to get him to like bring us out to a show to meet him now. So I mean, it's and I met it. It was life changing to me because MMA was huge for me. Like I'm a
Yeah,
huge fan of MMA. I never miss a card, and I've got to meet my favorite female fighter of all time was Misha Tate,
yeah,
and
she's amazing.
I got to meet her at the PI. I
Oh,
met Sean Strickland, Terrence Crawford, Jakeem Buckley. I mean,
mm,
Piotr Yan, met Aljamain Sterling. So like all these people were meeting them, and it's insane. It
yeah,
doesn't feel real.
yeah. I mean, like that the MMA game, like like what had got you into like MMA? Like, was it like the test of like the physicality of it, like pushing yourself to the mental limit? Or was it just you were always a fan of combat sports, you just wanted to get in there and see if you could go?
Well, so like I said, I wrestled and grappled, but it's more of like a Nick Diaz thing back in the day. He said like
Mm,
to love fighting, you got to hate fighting,
mm,
and I started because I was that guy where I was like anybody could do this.
yeah,
Walk into my first MMA fight, get my front tooth knocked out, got KO'd. But I was chasing the adrenaline rush, and from then it's just it's stuck. Like whenever you go up there to compete, it's you feel like the whole world's watching you. And like all of your problems at home, all your problems at your job, they leave your head. And for that short amount of time, you feel like you're on top of the world. And nothing beats that feeling.
Yeah. Like, are you still like fighting MMA, or is it that sort of have to stop because of the power slap?
So Power Slap allows you to keep doing MMA, but I'm not going to until my Power Slap stint's done. Because I mean, Dana White and them gave me this privilege to put myself on this big stage, and
Sure.
I don't want to waste it by taking some. Because obviously, Power Slap doesn't equate to like you just immediately being in the UFC.
No, of course. Yeah.
So like, I don't want to take a professional fight and like forbid I get injured or I break something, and then Power Slap's like, hey, you want to do this, and I'm like, oh, I can't.
Mm.
I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a company man, and I want to be available whenever they give me a call.
Yeah. How often and frequent have they got you guys competing?
So I did my first one in March, did my second one in May. So right now it's been like every other month. I haven't been on the past two cards because they've been kind of bringing in new people and filling out the divisions. Um, but I mean, it's been frequent, I can't talk today. More frequent than when I've been fighting, like doing
Yeah.
MMA. So
Yeah. I mean, like, do you feel, that what like they're gonna do is like fill it up like how they filled up the UFC, like have hundreds and hundreds of, power slap fighters?
yeah, I believe so, and I believe it's going to be a lot sooner than later.
Wow.
Because every card they're adding more than a handful of new people. So they,
Yeah. Like,
I think they fill that out pretty nice.
mm. But like, do you feel that that's a good way to go about it? Like, instead, like maybe focus and try and build like a good, strong set of stars in Power Slap in the conception of it, and then sort of start building from that in a few years.
So I think they're following the right way because I mean, you got
Sure.
me from Illinois, you've got Amir Nuruddin from Washington, and you've got these Hawaiian guys who are doing it, and those guys are insane, the nicest people you'll ever meet, but just
Yeah.
monsters on that stage. Um, so I think they're getting us up from all over because like whenever they do start just doing all these live events and they're going everywhere. I mean, they do a show in Illinois, they throw an Illinois guy there, and now you got people who'll come. Um, I think they're making hometown stars before they even go on the road to try to make sure that everything sells.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I mean, for sure. I mean, they want to probably, yeah, I can see that sort of, stint of it as well. But, it's interesting. I saw that, Ryan Phillips took a photo with Cowboy Cerrone at one of the most recent power slaps. And, I messaged him. I was like, oh, Cerrone's a fan. And he goes, man, yeah, he turned up, got drunk as fuck, and just like went, just insane. He goes, he was like screaming, don't flinch, don't flinch. Like, like there's a lot of the the MMA community that are really getting into it, but I mean, like there's some that have like really said a lot of negative shit about it. I think Sean O'Malley's been one of the guys who recently become the UFC bantamweight champion a little while back. Didn't say anything too positive about it. What is your like thoughts, of these guys basically, speaking up, and should they, invest a bit more time looking into what power slap is, or do you think that they're, can be valid in what they're saying? Like, is
Well,
there any valid in what they're saying?
so I mean, even if there is validity in what they're saying, I mean, you just said Sean O'Malley spoke badly of it, but I mean, it's Sean O'Malley. Like I said, any publicity is good publicity. Get that
100%.
ban, get that bantamweight champion talking about power slap.
Yeah.
Now everybody's tuning in to see what it's about. I mean, and then everybody's gonna have their own opinions. I mean, you still got people who are really salty about MMA still, and it's
100%.
been 30 years. So I mean, everybody's gonna say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, the bigger the star talking about it, the better is how I see it.
Mm.
Um, But I mean, Sean O'Malley got a tattoo from 6ix9ine, so what's his opinion matter?
True, but you know what? That's a good way to look at it in a lot of ways as well. Because it's like if you don't really particularly give a fuck about that person, and like that's the thing that we see is like a lot of people get upset when like someone says something negative or they say some bullshit, and it's like, do you care what this person thinks? No, then why are you getting so upset about it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it. My nickname's controversy. I don't care what people say. Um, I mean, I talk shit. They talk shit. We all talk shit. It's good for everybody.
100%.
By the way, just in case he sees it, Sugar, I love you, so don't come for me. Um, but you got a tattoo from 6ix9ine, so
Yeah, man. Oh, well, look, bro, there you go. He's yeah, that's definitely one way to put everything back into perspective, man. But so why do they call you controversy, man? Like what is it about you that is so controversial?
so back in the beginning of my amateur mixed martial arts career, I made some jokes that were super offensive, and like I even stopped talking about them because like I grew up a little bit. And now even I was like, oh, that could have been misconstrued the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then I said some personal things about one of the guys I fought, about one of his family members who wasn't with us anymore, and so that's where the controversy name was born. And now it became it's crazy because it's a character. Like whenever I go up on stage, I you're talking to me now and I'm all cordial, but whenever I go up there, I start talking. I'm not the same nice guy I normally am. I'm talking shit. I'm being mean. I'm just a vicious guy when I compete, and so controversy is like that alter ego.
Mm. Is that something that you like, the showman side of things that you like to try and bring out to it as well?
So I wouldn't even say I'm a showman because like I would say like Austin Turpin's a showman. Like
Mm.
he's humping the stage and just going insane. Mine's more of a I go up there and I talk shit. I do my job, but I mean it's gonna be action packed, and I guess like that's sort of showmany, but I'm not
Yeah.
trying to. It just kind of happens.
Yeah. Do you thrive off like when people try and talk shit back and try and get in your face a little bit, or is that sort of
I love
like
it.
yeah, you love it?
I love it so much. Like whenever me and Dwayne fought, he busted my eardrum, and that's what caused that knockout. Um, but him and I were nice the whole time because we were like super close friends outside of there from the first time I did Power Slap. But
Yeah.
whenever Austin and I walked up on that stage and did weigh-ins, when tensions were high there and we were talking shit to each other and they pulled us apart, they were getting between us. And like I said, I thrive for an adrenaline rush, and like right there, the adrenaline was going, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be it."
Yeah. Oh man, like because I feel like yeah, because like especially like in front of a crowd as well, and getting that atmosphere going, and you get that tension. You know what I mean? Like even as a fan watching that, like you thrive off that because it's like, oh, like you know what I mean? Like your ears prick up because it's not the normal go weigh in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's this is getting interesting. You know what I mean?
and it gets even crazier because like whenever we walk up on the stage, Mark Wahlberg's watching us, and like you've got other celebrities in the crowd, and I'm like, holy shit, these people are watching me now.
Yeah.
And so that was super different, but that made my day as well. It's a whole different beast being there.
That would be one of the wildest things to experience, though. I feel like going there and seeing people of like A-list celebrity just sitting there watching you and being like, "Hey, man, I'm a fan of your stuff." Like that would be a complete like, you know, what I mean? Like that would be a freak out moment, really.
And it's bigger for me. I feel like because I came from so I grew up in a town called Bicknell, Indiana, and like it's a there's like 3,000 people there.
Mm,
And so now, like, and my family still lives there. So, like, me being on TV and then me being on the Rumble app, like doing Power Slap, nobody else from my town's been anywhere on a stage that big. So, like, now I go back there and everybody's like, hey, you're that guy. And so it's huge for me.
yeah,
I've had kids recognize me and be like, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
that's
I
sick.
love that.
Sick. Yeah. How was your family's reaction when they saw you like doing this?
So my mom, being the typical mother, was like, "You definitely shouldn't do this." Um,
That seems like a normal mum reaction.
and my dad found out, and my dad was like, "That's fucking insane. You definitely should do that." Um, and then my brother was super excited about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, being a brother, he was like, "Man, what if you get knocked out cold?" And I'm just like, "I'll get knocked out cold then on TV in front of." Well, now it's hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a different game. But all of my family took it pretty well. Um, my wife refuses to go to a show to watch me do it because she's like terrified I'm gonna get hurt. But I mean, I told her I've been doing it forever. Like getting hurt's part of it, not getting hurt's part of it. But she's a fan too. I mean,
Did she go to your MMA fights?
she's been to every one of my MMA fights.
Yeah.
Um,
She feels this is different to that.
well, so she feels it's different because like whenever I go to my MMA fights and I start wrestling, like I haven't been hit very often.
Mm.
Because you can defend. So
Yeah.
like she she doesn't like the whole getting hit, not defending aspect of it.
Mm.
Because she knows like I'm gonna get hit, and she doesn't like seeing that. So
Yeah. I think that that's probably one of the like I think probably the thing that can turn someone's stomach is like you know what I mean? The not being able to defend yourself in doing it. And like it must like the first time that you stood there and did it, like did you feel like it was unnatural for you as like an MMA fighter, as someone who's always like as a fighter, you're trying to avoid to get hit at all costs, at all times. Did you find it like strange the first time that you know stepped up to do that?
well, so no, because I knew it was coming, and like whenever I was doing the MMA and stuff, I'm a wrestler and a grappler, so that's my go-to every time.
Yeah.
So whenever I would have training partners, it would always be like I would get some guy who's gonna stay. My son's creeping up. Um, I would always get training partners who are gonna like we're gonna stand, we're gonna do kickboxing,
Yeah.
we're gonna do the stand and bang. That way, like I could get used to like if I couldn't take somebody down,
Mm.
I'm there for that war.
Yeah.
So like getting hit that first time, I've been hit harder. Like um, the punches and slaps feel different. I would say the slaps definitely have like more of a damaging impact. They're gonna make your face swell a little bit.
Mm.
But other than that, I mean, I can take shots, I can give shots. It's part of the game.
Man, it's you know the yeah, just like I said, I'm in awe of what you guys do, to be honest, because I just look at it and just go, man, like that is just so like it's such a spectacle. And you know what, like I've seen Forrest Griffin's involved in it. You know what I mean? You've got Michael Bisping in it as well. So like, you know, I feel like it's definitely got some drive and it's definitely got some legs to sort of, you know, go to that sort of next stage, man. But you know, how like the training for this, like how often like are you training every day for this? Is this like a you know like same as a pro MMA fighter trains for MMA? Is this like every day hours in the gym training, learning how to do this, learning how to get that technique crisper? Like
Yeah, so I
you
mean,
break
every
it down?
I bought a bob every day. I'm trying to see what I can do with my strike to make it more impactful. Um, the slap is I feel like is all in your back, your shoulders, and your arms.
Mm,
Um, so like my deadlift's the highest it's ever been. Um, getting ready like that, going out and just the reps of it, just the slaps, doing it over and over and over again, so your arm doesn't get tired. You're not blowing it out. It's already used to it. All of that is just the training for. Like I said, everybody thinks this is just like a gimmicky anybody can do it thing, but
mm,
it's not. There's training involved. It's super serious. Everybody's a professional athlete up there. Um, and I mean, we show out every time. You see the new guys. A lot of the new guys went up there and got knocked out clean. Not everybody can do it. Speaking back to the earlier, whenever we were talking about like the big stars and everything, it reminded
mm.
me. because you asked if my wife was a fan of it. Her, because she's a fan of combat sports as well, and her day was made whenever Bisping sent her a shout out video because Bisping is her favorite fighter of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like so he sent her a video and she lost her fucking mind. My youngest son's name is Chael.
Oh, what?
Bisping called Chael Sonnen on the phone for me. I got to talk to him.
Oh, no way.
And he's my hero. Like,
oh, dude, yeah. Shao is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Like, not because of like his fights, but just mainly like I feel like he was like Conor McGregor before there was a Conor McGregor.
Hate the comparison.
Yeah, but I feel like he was the one. He was like one of the. I think he was MMA's really first outspoken heels.
Chael is eons better than McGregor, with fighting skill and shit talking ability.
I mean,
that's a hill I'll die on.
Look, I think definite like talking ability. I think he's probably one of the greatest talkers in MMA. But like we talk about like fighting wise, look, man, he's great. But like look at like his record, man. Like
his record, he's undefeated and undisputed
in MMA.
Yeah, he's undefeated, undisputed, never lost. UFC champion. It's part of his gimmick. He says he's undefeated and undisputed.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, I don't know about that. But no, dude, I just feel like, yeah, look, I think Connor's definitely had more of a shining career in fights. I think Shao definitely had some like tough opponents. I don't think he had any easy opponents in the UFC.
He manhandled Anderson Silva up until the 5th round, and that broke my heart watching that.
Yeah, but then he got popped for that, didn't he?
Yeah, he got popped, and then he was almost the first guy to beat John Jones because Jones broke his toe wrestling him.
That's that's right. He did. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, John Jones' toe. I remember was like stuck out that like it was like the pinky toe. Yeah, that was. Oh.
Imagine if Chael made it out of that round. Like, could you imagine John Jones's first actual losses from an injury, and like Chael's the guy who took the belt from him?
Oh, dude,
I mean, the rematch would be terrible, but
John Jones would have just come in there and just pumped him. But he just straight out. But you know what? Like John Jones, like you look at his fight style. Let me ask you this: as a MMA fighter, there, like over the years, like people have said, you know, Jones is a pretty dirty fighter. Like when it comes down to it, like the downward kicks to the knees, you know, leaves his hands lingering out there for eye pokes, all that sort of stuff. What's your take on it?
Well, so I mean, the kicks are part of it. I mean, who was it? Khalil, I think, just kicked the guy's leg out last year. It's a legal kick. He's kicking straight. A downward stomp is illegal. A straight out kick is that's legal. The eye poke thing, I think that'll forever linger with him. But I think the glove change they just did, where they kind of curved the gloves, I think that like I don't know if you've ever had like an official UFC glove, but they kind of force your hand open. So like whenever you have an 85-inch reach, I'm definitely putting my arm out there. Like that's going to make it real hard for you to get to me. But those gloves kind of force your hand open. So I think a lot of those pokes weren't intentional. They just kind of happened. Because I mean, if you look at who he poked, the only guy he fought that had a skill level close to his was Daniel Cormier. Other than that, like who does John Jones need to poke to beat?
Yeah, true. I mean, it's yeah, it's very true. I mean, John Jones, like, you know, you look at his career though, like he's been rattled. Like he's been sort of like, you know, he's been popped more times than friggin' anyone. You know what I mean? Asada's had a field day with him, bro. Like, but could you imagine if he had been clean the entire time, would he have had the same successful run that he had?
So he got eradicated on what he popped for. Like he didn't eat the suspensions. They found out what was going on with him, the picograms. I don't think there's a dirty mark on his record. There's not an adderus there. John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, like hands down. everybody should look up to his combat career and not his personal life. And
Mm,
no one comes close to being as good as John Jones is.
mm. Yeah, I mean, I think when you're on that level like John Jones is, and like a company like the UFC has so much money invested in you, I feel like you need to have your shit together.
I think being in something as big as the UFC, some people once you get that level of fame, I think you kind of just drift off a little bit and lose yourself.
Mm.
It takes somebody who's super strong headed to like stay on the straight and narrow. I think he just dealt with some inner demons, and clearly he's doing fine now. Came back and won a heavyweight title in the first round. Like
Mm.
I
And
think
that comes with maturity as well.
I think John Jones has finally found himself, and I don't think he gets in trouble anymore. I think he already went through that stage where he kind of lost himself to the fame, and I think he got through it.
Yeah, and I think that probably can happen with a lot of people in any sort of sport or industry where there's celebrity involved. It's like there's going to be those times where it sort of gets to you.
Yeah, I think that's what helps me the most is like I'm a homebody. Like if I'm not going to the gym and training, I'm at home with my family.
Mm.
And so like the qualities of fame don't apply to me because like even when I went to Vegas, I went and looked at Fremont, I went and looked at the sites, and then I was kind of like, all right, I've done it. Let's go back to the hotel. Um, Let me stay in my own little area. And I mean, I made friends with the Power Slap guys, and we went and Dwayne Crespo and I went and looked at a Hollywood movie prop store while we were there.
Oh, that's
And I
cool.
mean, that was the highlight of my going to Vegas.
No
Because
gambling.
no, absolutely no gambling. So like a little personal info about me. My dad had a gambling problem.
Oh,
Growing up, my mom had like a narcotic problem. So like I'm the product of like a bad. I was raised poorly, but
yeah.
it doesn't define me. But like whenever I see things like that, I don't delve into gambling. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that. I like going out and looking at stuff and doing new things. But there's the fame is cool to meet people, but besides that, I don't have any of the party lifestyle in me. I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah. But I think as well, you're a family guy. I mean, like I'm in that same sort of sense as you, bro. Like like I've got a wife, I've got 3 kids, man. Like I like to be home. If I'm not working or like if I don't have to work, like then bro, I'm literally at home.
Yeah.
Like I'm at home with my wife and kids, or I'm at like the park kicking a football around with my son, or like I mean, having a tea party with my daughter, or doing nails with my daughter, or
Oh yeah.
breastfeeding my 2 year
Gym
old.
home, dogs, video games, snakes.
Yeah, yeah. That well, yeah. I'll leave the snakes to you though, bro. But like you actually like we're talking earlier. You're actually a snake handler.
Yeah.
You were saying,
So if you see the white rack over there, and then behind me all those like tubs,
yeah.
there's a snake in every one of those.
Like, are they pets or are they like your stock, like what you're
Like
selling?
I breed and sell them. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have a snake from Australia.
Oh, really? Which
Yeah,
one?
a green tree python.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yep.
cool.
It
Are they common over there?
uh so that one I got from a breeder. They have them imported from Australia. So like it's my favorite. It's my dream snake. So like I got it, and their temperament is not like the best. They like to bite. Um, but mine just like super tame, doesn't bite at all. So I handle it and super cool.
Yeah. Like, how many times have you been bitten by snakes?
Tons.
Really? Like, are these venomous snakes or like,
No,
yeah?
no. I would love to have venomous snakes, but my state doesn't allow it.
Oh, really? Like, you can't like be in possession of them, or?
You can, but it's like you got to pay $600 per year per snake, and then do like 600 hours of community service every year for snakes, and it's just ridiculous on like the prerequisites you have to do just to be able to have the hobby.
Yeah, right. So, oh, like, you know, how do your kids feel about the snakes, man? Like, I just saw your son running in the background. He didn't seem too phased near the snake.
Oh no, they love them. They love them.
Yeah.
My youngest boy, we had a king snake one time, and the king snake bit him, and he was giggling about it because it doesn't hurt. It's not painful. It feels like sandpaper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not painful at all.
So I think like fangs going in, like.
Well, so pythons have teeth. They don't have
Mm.
fangs, so they have like little bitty teeth, like I would say a centimeter long, like less than dog teeth.
Yeah, right. So so it's not even much you're gonna feel.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do for a side business, and like doing stuff that you love is like a big part of it. And I love animals, so like getting to deal with them all the time is super calming to me. That's like my stress reliever.
Dude, that's wild, man. Like, it's like, what other animals are you like? Do you do other animals as well besides snakes that you're breeding and sort of selling?
I only breed the snakes. I mean, I have some lizards that I kind of just got because they're cool pets to have.
Yeah.
Um, but besides that, I don't like dog breeding. There's too much work that goes into that,
Mm.
so I don't want to do that. Um,
There's a lot of money involved in dog breeding as well, so I feel like that's probably why there's so much paperwork and rigmarole to go through to do it.
there's more than snakes.
Really?
There's there's some snakes that sell for over $30,000.
Wow. There is some big. That must be some big time collectors that
Yeah.
get the stuff though. Or is that like a zoo would pay for 30 grand for a snake?
Well, so I bred a snake this year and I held it back. And I went on the snake site where everybody like sells them, and there wasn't one on there that's the same, but like the estimated price of it would go for like $4,500 per snake, and
Oh, jeez.
they can lay 12 in a clutch. So
Oh, God. That's
yeah,
pretty. Jeez, man. Maybe I need to get in the snake business instead of the podcast business.
telling you.
But man, I don't know, man. I've got a phobia of like snakes and spiders and shit, man. So I don't know. I'm a pussy when it comes to that sort of stuff, bro.
You
I'll admit it. I'm a huge pussy when it comes to that.
That's the thing. So was I until my brother bought me my first one, and then like once you get around them and you realize like how they work and their behaviors and stuff, you're
Yeah.
just like, why was I scared of these?
Really?
Yeah, because like now it's like I'll go around snakes, I'll pick up random snakes. I picked up venomous snakes in the woods. I mean, with a snake hook, of course,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it's I'm not afraid of any of them anymore because you can tell like just like with people, their body behavior, like
Mm.
if they're gonna bite or not. So
Yeah, right. Well, like, cause are they sort of arch up or like?
some of them kind of s up depending on what they are. The green tree python from Australia,
Yeah.
it doesn't really have a tell of when it's gonna bite because they can kind of hit at any angle. But I mean, you can still kind of tell if they're agitated by their breathing and things like that.
Oh wow. Jeez, man, I had no idea that snakes were this complicated.
Yeah, yeah, they're very intelligent.
It's funny, like I got a buddy, a friend of mine from the States, and like he's into like reptiles and lizards and stuff like that. And like my house, I've got a massive swimming pool with like a set of rocks, right? So we've got like this family of water dragons that live in like the behind these rocks. So they hibernate in the winter, but in summertime they'll be out in the pool and be like stretched out like in the sun and stuff like that. And these things are massive. And I took a photo of one of them and I sent him to my mate, and he's like, biggest like reptile nerd. He's like, that is the Australian water dragon, and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah. I'm just thought I was going to
That's
show
my
you
wife's
something.
dream lizard,
The what water dragon?
the Australian water dragon.
Dude, I got like 30 of them in my backyard.
Yeah, that's. Go ahead and start packaging those up and go ahead and send them.
Yeah, that's illegal, but I can't do that because I'll go to jail.
Oh yeah, well, so in the U.S., I wouldn't do any of that either because like if you have an illegal species in the U.S.
Yeah.
and they catch you, they kill everything in your collection.
Really?
Yeah, even if it's like they go through and everything goes. So like you gotta be really up on your like standards and permits and things like that.
Well, they actually will kill all your snakes. Like they won't just take them from you and rehouse them to somewhere else. They'll kill them.
There's a video I can send you on Instagram after this is over.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they got in Florida, this guy was trying to he was trying to stay within regulations, but he couldn't get rid of the animals they had prohibited
Yeah.
because they gave him a certain time to get rid of them, and they went there with a bolt gun and killed everything.
Jesus.
And he got it all on video, so like it's super graphic, but yeah, you can see how they do that.
Man, that's so barbaric though. Like we talk about power slap being barbaric. That's insane.
And well, that's one of my big things about it is like people. A lot of the people around will be like, "Well, the only good snake's a dead snake," and things like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what if people said that about puppies and cats and furry animals?
Oh,
And then
gee.
immediately their tone changes.
Yeah, for real.
And
For real.
like pets to other people are different than pets to me, I guess. So
Yeah, man. Like I don't know, man. Like I think, again, it just comes down to what someone's cup of tea is. You know what I mean? Like
yep.
someone like me, I look at a snake and I'm just going, "Ugh." Like I wouldn't sit there and go, only good snake's a dead snake." I just, you know what I mean? I look at something and go, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Then I'm just not going to go and buy a snake. You know what I mean? Like that. That's my take on it. It's just I'm just not going to own one. That's okay. Like I don't wish harm on people who do, or yeah,
10 out of 10 if I lived in Australia, I died of wildlife.
you die in the wildlife.
Yep, for sure. I would try to handle something I probably shouldn't handle, and it would happen.
But see, that's the biggest misconception, right? About Australia, because people think that there's all these things that can kill you. Like if you live in like the middle of the country, like which I'm sure it's the same as in the US. Like if you live in the middle of like the desert, right? Yeah, you're gonna get there's gonna see scorpions and vultures and all that sort of crazy shit that's gonna kill you and eat you and pick you apart. Like it's you know what I mean, in Australia, like there's heaps of spiders and snakes and shit like that, but like you've got to go into some pretty regional bush areas to come in contact with some of them.
So I love kangaroos. That's my favorite animal. Um, so like I've been kicked by a kangaroo before. That's a cool story.
How did you get kicked by a kangaroo and like live to survive it?
So he kind of just grazed me. We had a kangaroo sanctuary up in Kentucky, and my wife took me there because she knows they're my favorite animals. So
Yeah.
we go up there and you can like hand feed them and things. And I didn't realize that like kangaroos just kind of get disputes with each other,
Mm,
and they're made for it, so they don't kind of just kill each other.
yeah.
And so I was like, I've got to break up this fight between these kangaroos. And
Sorry. Sorry.
so I go up,
Yeah.
and these kangaroos immediately just break off from their fight. Now they're buddies.
Yeah.
And one goes to kick at me and kind of just grazes my leg.
Yeah.
And even a graze felt like terrible. Um,
Oh, I can
but I'm
imagine.
they're made for disemboweling. So
Yeah, man. They grab you and put you in that tie clench and lift up and kick you in the stomach. Bro, like in Australia, kangaroos are a pest where like if you live like in certain parts of Australia, like and you own property, you have to cull a certain number of kangaroos. Like
yeah,
they come onto your property.
that's what my buddy over there was telling me. But and I mean, it's funny. I'll send you Instagram clips he sends me all the time because he'll like go out in his backyard
Yeah.
and he's always like, look at my backyard, and he's like showing me kangaroos, and I'm like, man, I need to live in Australia.
But you know what? Like the thing is, and like all right, so like usually you won't see kangaroos just dumping randomly around like you know in Sydney and Melbourne and stuff like that, right? So where I live, like my house backs onto a national park. So my backyard, I open up my back fence and there is the national park. So every Saturday morning, I'll go out and I'll have my morning coffee, and I have like one or two wallabies, which are like a smaller kangaroo. Like that's the best. If you Google a wallaby, it's just like it looks like it's just a really small kangaroo.
Oh, I've seen them. I've looked into buying them.
Oh, real? Jeez, man. They come up to my back, like my back fence, and I have a morning coffee. And like, I've tried to give them apples and stuff, but they get spooked very quickly. But yeah, like we have that here, man. But I tell you what, have you ever eaten kangaroo?
I have not. I would try it if I could get it. But
So good.
how Mike Tyson is, how he had those tigers, just wait. With Power Slap, I'm going to come out there with a couple wallabies.
you want to get that Tyson energy.
But coming out with kangaroos.
Dude, I'm telling you, kangaroo meat is really, really good. Very like it's such good protein. Very, very clean meat. It's very gamey. So if you like gamey meat like deer and stuff like that, you'll like kangaroo.
Oh, I like any kind of meat. It's all good.
That's it, man. Like but no, yeah, roo meat is definitely a delicacy here, man. So, but man, as we start to wrap this up, man, where can everyone find you on social media? Where can people sort of get behind, follow you, and follow your journey?
So my Instagram is Cody Cox _power slap. And then I am also on Twitch. I stream video games a few times a week. Been doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre this week, including tonight. And that is Kurtotep, KURTOTEP. And I'm basically Kurtotep everywhere except for socials, because gotta let people know that I'm doing the power slap thing. And then if you want to buy snakes from me, it's Kurtotep's Constrictors. It's on Morph Market. Go there, you'll see my page. And I do not ship to Australia, so I can't send you one.
Nah, all good, mate. You can keep the snakes there, buddy. I'll leave it at that. But man, thank you so much for coming on, man. This has been a great conversation. I'd love to get you back on sometime down the line, bro. We can do a part 2 if you're down for it, man. As I said, I definitely had a great time.
I'm always down to be on here. First time being here, super great host. Like I said, your intro is fucking powerful. It's intense. It's hype. Shooting the shit uncensored is awesome. Follow them on YouTube, Twitch. Follow them everywhere. If they have merch, buy some merch from them. Get all that shit. Or I'll come to your house and I'll slap you.
Hey, that's it. You can find it all on the Piers Austin channel on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Huge shout out to our sponsor, Health Ape. And by the way, Cody Cox, man, what a legend. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. But until next time, you all take care. All the best. Mwah. Peace.